Hey, this is the World Advice Channel 2. What I want to talk about today is a topic of why do some communities of people succeed while others don't. So for this video, I'm going to discuss the topic of why some communities of people, which can relate to different things, whether it's based on race, ethnicity, or even just down to nationality. Why do some of them succeed while others ones do not is what I'll be discussing for this video, as well as a lesson that people can learn from this video. Okay, so now that I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to the topic of why some communities of people do not succeed while other ones do not, it simply comes down, simply put it, to leadership. Okay, and that is the honest truth of the matter. When it comes to why some communities of people succeed and other communities of people don't really go anywhere, it's really that. Now, even though there's other factors that play a role, the main factor that literally could put everything behind is simply down to leadership. Okay, because the truth of the matter is, in this world we live in, when you really look at it as a whole, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. The majority of people in the world are followers. Okay, we've already seen this, evidence of this more like throughout everything from history, the thousands of years of history that have existed on this planet, to even a modern day world we live in. Like the fact that people literally, will say they're liberal. So that when they say they're liberal, especially in 2026 standards, literally everything that the Liberal Party stands for, they'll say they believe that is correct. Or if they're right wing, it's the same way too, whatever you like to say. The point of the matter is the majority of people in the world are just simply followers. Okay, they do not have independent opinions, let alone have the ability to become really good at having a vision for anything. They just do what everybody else is doing. And there's been numerous psychological studies that have proven it, to the point that it's actually, if anything, maybe a bit too oversaturated, if anything. And we're not talking about studies like today's versions of studies that are done at like Harvard or something, and then you kind of look at the evidence of it and say, okay, I don't know if I really agree with it. And next thing you know, in a few months or a few years, they literally change it up and say, oh, well, the facts were kind of flawed and blah, 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 blah. We're talking about experiments that were done decades ago in the golden age of psychology studies, like in the mid 20th century, things like everything from the Stanford experiment to, another one could obviously be, I think it was called an acne experiment, like things like that, those type of experiments they did, like that level of quality, whether it directly relates to if people are followers or not is not the issue, but literally the level of quality when it comes to how good their study, those studies were. Okay, those studies back then were way better than they are now. Okay, and they literally just prove exactly what I said. The majority of people are just followers, and they will do anything if they think everybody else is doing it. And that's the truth. Okay, so as a result of that fact, if the majority of people are not really capable of having independent opinions for things, let alone the fact of the matter, as even aside from that, it's just a case of cause and effect, which I'll get into more later. The truth of the matter is, common sense would indicate that you have to have a leader to make things fall in order. Because in the end of the day, if people are not able to have a vision, then it's going to cause, as a result, chaos when it comes to things, because people obviously have interest, and sometimes their interest might get away with someone else's interest, and so on and so forth. And the truth of the matter is, like anything, common sense will indicate it won't really get anywhere. And that's the honest truth of the matter when you look at that particular issue. Okay, so common sense 101 would show, as a result of things like that, no surprise to anyone in the world who actually uses their freaking brain, for that matter, you have to have a leader, because a leader is the one who has not only a main idea of what he wants to do, instead of the masses who don't really have an idea of what they want to do to make things better. He also is one who, because he's a leader, he has the authority to make everything come together. Okay, and that's the honest truth of the matter. And back to what I was saying before about cause and effect, the truth of the matter is, it even just comes down to the dynamics of of that exact thing. Okay, some people might know better, just like the issue using corruption as an example. They might realize, okay, things are better um if I'm obviously not corrupt. But since everyone else is doing it, just like that whole saying, why don't I do it? And that's so dumb, you know. Well, it's not necessarily dumb, but it's an old saying that people do, you know, which just shows the truth about the world. You know, if everyone else is doing it, then why don't I do it? That old saying a lot of kids say, and even to this day for full adults, is that exact way. So if people have bad behaviors and bad habits, common sense is going to indicate, you know, even if that person themselves, let alone persons, know better, they're going to think to themselves, okay, you know, if everyone else is doing it and I'm not the leader, then I might as well just do it myself too, you know? So as a result, with things like that, you know, like cause and effect, you have to have a leader because he's going to say, no, all of you guys are going to do this. You know, you're group one, you're going to do this, group two, you're going to do that, and so on and so forth. So you bring in order instead of people just doing things independently in a group type way, you know, which always results in chaos anyway, for that matter. Okay, so that's why you need a leader. Okay, now of course, now we're not explaining that. Now it comes down to, of course, the topic of why do we need a leader, you know, in order for communities of people to succeed, to be as specific as possible, you know. Well, the truth of the matter is, for why it comes down to a group of people succeeding, is it just simply comes on the fact that when people do not have a leader, everyone just does their own thing. You know, people do not have vision. One person does this, one person does that. Well, if you have a leader, he organizes things, you know, for that matter. And that's why some communities of people, whether it's based on race, ethnicity, religion, are successful because they have a straight up leader who's going to tell them, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that. And as long as obviously he's not absolutely completely in power, he gets shit done because he has a vision. He has an idea of what his overall long-term goal is. You know, whether it could be the issue of the nation might be how we're going to make money or this and that. They're going to think, okay, we're going to focus on technology and innovation. You know, when it comes to making our country rich, we're going to come up with ideas and share with the world, or we're going to focus on tourism, or we're going to focus on resources, whatever, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. The whole 9 yards you're familiar with. That is why some leaders succeed, or more communities more like succeed, because they have a person who has a vision of what they're going to do, and that's why they're so successful. Okay, while communities of people that are not successful, such as Black, Native American, Latinos, don't really have a leader, and if they don't have much of a leader, or if they have a leader, more like, they don't have much of a really good leader. Okay, so as a result, it creates a lot of chaos, and as a result of creating a lot of chaos, nothing really gets done. You know, you don't have someone tell people, okay, I want you to do this particular thing, you know, in order for our nation to be successful. Group one, do this, group two, do that, and so on and so forth, let alone a vision of what they can, you know, do for their people when it comes to giving them advice on how they can become successful. Like they might say, for example, using Black people as an example, or it could be any other group, but Black people just a good example. Okay, if you have a leader, you might tell the Black person, the Black people more like, okay, if you guys want to make money, it's smart, you have an idea, um, you know, of maybe, if anything, you know, sharing it with other people, or something like that, like someone who tries to build people up, or if not trying to build people up, they might give direct advice. Okay, as a community of people, maybe we should stop doing the bad habits we have, whether it could be showing up late to things all the time, even when it's work, whether it could be not being organized, you know, whether it could be overcharging things. So as a result, people actually, because there's a leader, they listen to him. And as a result, they cut out the bad habits instead of just everybody just focusing on their own thing, which obviously creates a lot of chaos and nothing gets done. You see what I'm saying? That is an example of a good leader. But the Black community doesn't have that, let alone other communities of people do not have leaders, which as a result is the reason why they don't get fucking anywhere. okay? And they just stay in the same loop of having problems here and there and not getting anywhere, okay? While other groups of people who are successful have a leader, okay? And that is the truth about the world, okay? So that is the message of this video. I hope you learned something. And the truth of the matter is, every group of people need leaders in order to succeed. Okay. So now let's get to the lesson of the video. Okay. So the lesson of the video is it's not to say that people are necessarily, you know, based on the group they're part of, are inferior or superior to this other group of people. The point of this video is just to enlighten people that if a group of people are going to succeed, it comes down to having a good leader, okay? And if you don't have a good leader, nothing is going to get done, you know? And that's the truth of this video, is just enlightening people. So hopefully people listen to this and hopefully we can change things, okay? Specifically for groups of people who are disadvantaged. So anyway, this is all to say, and simply put, I'm out. Bye.